What's up guys, it's Captain Mura, and today we have a couple of parts that we're going to be putting on the 2015 Grom. We have a integrated taillight, we have two small stalker flush mount LED turn signals for the front, and obviously because we're putting LEDs in the front and the back, we need to upgrade the stock flasher unit to an LED flasher unit. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do all of that and show you the outcome. All of these parts are super cheap. They're under $10 each from eBay. I will put the links down in the description below. I might be off by $1 or $2 depending on when you're watching this video and what changes in the market for eBay parts. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, hit the like button. If you dislike it, hit the dislike button and subscribe if you're a new viewer. Peace.
Alright, so this is what the stock turn signals look like, as you guys probably know. They're huge and they're ugly. But the first thing that you're going to want to do is take these 4 Allen head bolts out. That loosens the headlight bracket and everything will come apart. There's tape here, so we want to fix this. It looks like crap. After you get these 4 Allen head bolts out, you're going to want to take this screw off of each side of the turn signals. That will let the turn signal pop loose and you're going to follow the wire to this junction. After you unplug the turn signal, you will be able to pop this thing off, and then the next part would be to take this rubber boot off. It comes off pretty easily. I'm going to have to take some of this extra duct tape off because it's terrible. I use some spray and WD-40 to take the residue from the sticker off, and the next thing to do is to put these flush mount turn signals on. You just want to follow the sticker so that it matches the shape of this little plastic thing. And that's it. It's a double-sided sticky tape. You just stick it on both sides. It's super sticky. Look, I mean, the excess that I pulled off just sticks everywhere that I put it. Just be careful with that. And it looks pretty good. I mean, it's just going to go right here like that. It's very flush and it's black. It matches everything else. And the next thing you want to do is hook it up. Once you hook it up, you're just going to follow the wire all the way back to this orange junction and plug it in. You're going to want to replace the LED flasher, which we're going to do next. And you're going to also want to do the next side just like I did the first side. The next thing I'm going to do is replace this flasher with an LED one. And you want to keep that rubber boot. It's pretty important. To remove this, it's pretty simple. It just pops right off. And essentially what you're going to want to do is just reuse the rubber. Put the rubber on the new LED flasher and just plug it in. It's very, very simple. You can't screw it up. That's it. And here's the LED flasher that I actually use, so if you guys want to know what it is, it's just cheap. Next thing to do, and it's a good tip, is just put the 2 bottom Allen head bolts in first, and then it swivels up so everything else lines up. It makes things so much easier. And that's pretty much it. Let's see what these things are looking like before I screw around with the back signals. Looks pretty good to me. And they're lighting up on the right side. Let's check this side, and it's lighting up on the right side. I think it looks pretty good. Another quick tip for those of you that don't know. This is how you open up the seat. I know it might sound like a stupid question, but I've seen it online multiple times, people asking how to access the battery. It's that simple. Just don't forget that your key is still in that little slot. I screw it up all the time. All you're going to do is take these 2 nuts off and follow this cord all the way to the OEM junction. Once you take these 2 nuts off, the light just kind of pops out. So take this wire, go all the way to the OEM junction, and pop it loose. This is the new light, and it comes exactly like this. So what you're going to want to do is match up the wires the same exact way that they are in the OEM junction. Now this light does come with a replica junction, and it works exactly the same. So just make sure that the wires are in the same exact order in that new junction that it is in the OEM one. The tail lights on the Grom and the running light are attached inside of this giant whale tail fender. So essentially this whole thing needs to come off. You're going to want to follow the wire to that little connector, which is what connects the running light and the tail light. you're going to want to save this little plastic piece unless you have something just like it in your toolbox at home to connect to these turn signal wires. Once you get this off, you want to pull this back and unplug the wires from this connector, again, unless you have another one laying around that's exactly the same. In order to make this easier, you should probably just take the whole tail fender off, which is just held on by 4 bolts. Now, the tricky thing with these 2 bolts right here is that there's an open part of the subframe, so you want to stick something there so that the nut or bolt doesn't fall into the frame. If it does fall in, you're going to have to tilt your bike to get it all the way out, so just cover it, makes it easier. Alright, now we're inside and we're going to take the aftermarket taillight and we're going to solder on these new wires that I had laying around and put it into the same type of junction that's on the OEM harness. So I'm going to take these 2 wires, clip the existing taillight that's aftermarket, solder those on, and then put them on this connector. Now let's go back to the bike, run the wire all the way along where the taillight wire is, underneath this part of the fairing, and let's connect these to the OEM connectors. You're going to want to put these 2 nuts on the aftermarket taillight bolts, and then what you're going to want to do is connect these connectors. Taillight goes here, obviously you can see I soldered those on, and it goes right into the OEM harness. And you're going to want to tuck this stuff out of the way so that the seat doesn't clip it. And that's it. This is how it looks like running. I think it looks pretty sick. That's the turn signals. The camera itself makes it look like it's flashing both ways, but it's really not. And then this is the other way, is the brake light, which is pretty bright and nice. So the only thing this doesn't have is a running light, but I'm okay with that. I think it looks pretty sick. What about you guys?